Hi guys, and welcome back to What's Inside a Girl. Yay, episode 4 maybe. How is everyone doing? I'm feeling good today, you guys, and we're in a different spot today. Wait, hold on. We're gonna adjust you because I feel like you're a little close. Is that okay? We're in a different spot today, and I hope that this is not too distracting with all like the freaking posters, but I thought it was a cool change of scenery instead of me sitting in front of my dresser, which is actually very messy right now. So I was like, let me do everyone a favor and sit in a place that's not as messy, but it is very like crowded here, you know. We have Tyler the Creator watching over us. We have Steve Lacy here and Steve Lacy there watching over us. We have Rex watching over us, and they're not in frame, but we have Sid and Nancy watching over us. And we have more people watching over us, but they're out of frame. So, not to worry. So today, I'm really excited to talk today because I feel like I have a lot of things to talk about. I'm feeling good today. I woke up this morning and I went to class because it was the first day of second semester, and I was nervous because I'm taking a political science class, and just as I expected, it's everything that I'm terrified of. My brother's like, it's nothing to worry about. It's like civics class. I almost failed civics class in high school, and I'm not good with politics at all. I mean, if we're talking about like who's head of the house and who's the 5th member of the cabinet, I don't know anything like that. I know what I need to know. That actually sounds so ignorant. I'm open to learning new things, but politics is just like, it just doesn't interest me, and I feel like my attention span is too short for someone to explain it all to me. So yeah, I'm very nervous, and I feel like I'm going to get very insecure in that class because already on the first day, everyone was like, oh, I know who president of the house is, and I know who's cabinet member number 47, or however many there are. And I was just like, wow. I have some researching to do. Anyway, it's raining outside. It just started raining like really hard. That's crazy. Do you guys like the rain? I used to love the rain. The rain used to be my favorite. I used to like wait every single day for it to rain, but now I hate when it rains. I wish it was hot and sunny. I miss summer. I cannot wait for summer. I just posted about it on my spam account the other day. I was like, I literally cannot wait for summer and for it to get hot and sunny outside so I can sit on my roof, because that's one of my favorite things to do, is like go on my roof and just sit there and just like be at peace and be on my phone. But anyway, today I feel like talking about toxic familial family relationships, because there was something that happened the other day that kind of just sparked this topic, and I was like, maybe this is a good thing to talk about because I feel like I have a good amount of things to say on this topic. And I was going to say I feel like everyone can relate, but I hope not many people can relate. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people can relate on like toxic family dynamics, but yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. So yeah. So I think we can all agree that the older you get, the more you start to kind of stray away from what your family believes. Like whether you grew up in a puritanical type household environment, whether you grew up in a freaking conservative household, or, you know, like whatever the case may be. But, you know, we see like young kids just kind of follow and say whatever their parents say, which is normal because they're kids and they don't know better. But once you like grow up, and once you can do your own research and once you have your own life experiences, that's when your mindset sort of starts to shift. And, you know, I call it growing up and maturing and having a mind of your own. My grandpa calls it TikTok propaganda. That has infiltrated my young, developing mind. But hey, call it what you want. But this is just how I feel. So for me, my family, like, we weren't like ultra super religious. And I think I want to do a podcast episode on religion. But like, me and my brother, we went to private school. And I was in private school for 10 freaking years. But outside of the private school, we weren't the type of family that had Bible studies together. We weren't the type of family that went to church together like other families did in the school that I went to. And, you know, as far as my religion went, it only existed within school. And I guess a little bit outside of school. But it wasn't until I got older where I decided to like kind of question my religion a little bit more. And, you know, I'm still at a place where it's just kind of like it's a little iffy. I'm not gonna put any labels on it, but it's just a little like, you know, the family functions are definitely a little awkward when everyone wants to gather around the table and hold hands and pray. They'd be like, bow your heads and close your eyes, and I'll be like, I'm kidding, but I'm not. I'm being real. And that's what this is all about. We're being real here. But, you know, just little things like that are just like, even political. Wow, it is raining super hard outside, guys. Do you want to hear? Hold on. I hope y'all can hear that. Even political beliefs, especially like during 2020, I always relate things back to quarantine time because I feel like during quarantine I was freaking chronically online because there was nothing else I could do. And I feel like that's when I did a lot of like soul searching, and that's when I did a lot of like developing my own beliefs and my own ideas. But definitely 2020 had an impact on like how I felt about certain things, and how that definitely clashed with how my family felt. I feel like everyone in 2020 got like super freaking political. So I mean, that, and being like under the same roof as some people and having different political beliefs, like, it got rough. Okay, for sure. And still to this day, like, me and my family have our differences about certain things. My grandpa, who I love more than anything in this freaking world, we have like, we're complete opposites. But my grandpa always just says like, you know what, you're young, you know, you don't really know what's out there yet. As if my grandpa wasn't the most liberal hippie guy in the 60s. He was Mr. Peace, love to the world, acid bro, like, yeah, like, he was that guy. So, I mean, I don't know. And things changed because now he's Mr. like ultra conservative. And that's just the way it's gonna be, okay? There's nothing I can do, or there's nothing I can say to change my mind or change his mind. And that's just the way it is. Who knows what I'm gonna be like in 70 years? My grandpa's not that old. Let me rewind. In like 50 years. My beliefs are gonna change a little bit, but as of now, they, we're a little bit different. But it is what it is. Still love them. Still gotta respect them. But we couldn't be more different. And that's okay. But in some scenarios, that's not okay. In some families have a really hard time with their kids having different ideas and different feelings about things. And that's sad. And honestly, like, when I see it in like personal relationships, I'm like, I feel for them. Because no one wants to have issues with their family just because of, you know, the way you feel or the way you think or who you love or who you voted for. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, the only person I can be is myself. And if that's how I feel, like, that's how I feel. Hold on, listen to this. So, are we podcasting on the rain, or are we podcasting about toxic families? Yeah. And once again, having different thoughts, different beliefs as your family sometimes causes strain to the point where you get cut off, okay? And I haven't really, experienced this, literally me being cut off by family members. There are definitely family members that I've had to distance myself from because we're just two different people. And it sucks, but it's like, what do I do? Do I freaking suffer? Do I put my mental health at risk just to be around you, or do I just have to love you from a distance and be secure with myself and move on from my life? And I think my choice is to love you from a distance and be secure and not have my mental health go down the drain because I'm just trying to maintain a relationship with you when I really don't have to. You really don't have to be like this with your family. It's okay if you're not. And sometimes you have to put yourself first and be like, you know what? No, I can't do this. Gotta put me first. And that's okay. But I would suggest everyone learning how to communicate better. That solves a lot of issues. I feel like a lot of issues in life would be solved if people just learn how to communicate better. And I wish I would have learned that sooner. But I mean, how much sooner can you learn how to communicate, Especially at my age, 19, and I'm still learning how to communicate, definitely. I'm still learning how to approach subjects with people, and I'm still learning how to, express my feelings, put my thoughts into words, put my feelings into words and whatnot. But, some families just don't know how to do that because of ego, because of pride, because they're older than you, because they think they're wiser than you. And that's hard. That's the hard part. When people think just because they're older than you, you are obligated to respect them, because it's no, respect is a freaking two-way street. If you don't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. Simple as that. It's always respect your elders, but they don't have to respect us, the youngins. Okay. And I feel like by me saying this, I'm going to sound like a little brat. I'm going to sound spoiled. I'm going to sound, blah, blah. To the old heads, yeah, I can see how I probably sound spoiled, or I probably sound like a brat because I don't want to listen to the people older than me. But I'm just saying in the sense that, I have enough judgment where I can tell right from wrong. And sometimes older people are in the wrong, okay? And if I see it, then I'm I'm going to call them out on it, or I'm just going to choose to not do what they tell me to do because I know that they're wrong. There was a scenario that had happened with a family member of mine not too long ago where, we were kind of butting heads, and I approached the subject with them because I was tired of having this, of not speaking and not knowing what the problem was. So I brought it up to them and I was like, so what's going on? Let me know what I did. Let me know how you feel about me if I did something wrong. And if I did do something wrong, please let me know so I can fix it. And they had completely blown up on me because they had clearly been holding in some feelings that they had felt for me for a long time. And those feelings were not positive. And I was like, oh, I had no idea that you felt this way. I wish you would have communicated this to me earlier. And because they hadn't, it exploded and it just turned into a bigger situation than it had to be. And I felt completely taken aback, completely confused. I was in the dark about this whole situation, and I had no idea that they had felt this way about me. And I was like, oh wow. And it hurt a lot because this is a family member, this is someone that I'm supposed to love. This is someone who's supposed to love me. This is someone who I'm supposed to confide in. But I just felt like the trust was broken that day. because of things that were said to me. And when they said how they felt, I knew that I had to just kind of like exit that situation. And I was very hurt because I was like, this is what? You're my family, I didn't know that you felt this way about me. And it's very hurtful that you do feel this way about me because, I tried my hardest to be the best that I can be and, to be the best. I'll just say, and to be the best niece that I can be. But, I just wish you would have told me how you felt sooner so it wouldn't have gotten to this point. So I had to remove myself from that situation. And, maybe I'm not too prideful to say that maybe I did say some things in that conversation that were wrong. And maybe I said some things that were out of line and out of pocket that I shouldn't have said. However, when you're disrespecting me and when you're coming at me and when you are disrespecting my character at that, I have to put you in check. I have no choice. I don't care if you're 50 years older than me. I don't care if you are 10 years younger than me. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're the same age as me. If I feel like you're saying something about me that's not true, then I'm going to shut it down because that's just not okay. I'm not going to be like, yeah, you're so right. Because you're family and because I see you at holidays and because I'm supposed to love you. Yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry. I just can't do that. And, I said what I had to say. And maybe, it wasn't delivered in the best way. But that was something that I felt like I had to do in that moment. And do I regret what I said? Yes, like I said. Yes, I regret some things that I said. And I will take accountability for that. But other than that, I feel like I had done nothing wrong in the situation. And of course, there's a lot more to the story that I'm not going to say because it's just kind of like the rest is irrelevant. There's lore to this story, okay? There's past things that had happened that had led up to this point. But I can't apologize for things that happened 5 years down the line, things that happened before I was even in high school. I can't apologize for things like that because, that's been over. That's been done with. I'm a completely different person than I was 5 years ago. How am I going to apologize for my 14-year-old self? I can't. So, we kind of just let the animosity fester for a few months. Till I had gotten a phone call from my grandpa. And he was like, yo, Mackenzie, do me a favor and apologize to this person because it's causing ripples in the family dynamic. Listen, I know that everyone just wants everyone to get along, and I know everyone just wants to kumbaya and just, pretend like nothing happened and just be, happy little family again. But I just can't apologize for feeling the way that I felt. I can apologize for saying things that I probably shouldn't have said, but I can't apologize for someone, or I can't apologize for doing something when I feel like I had done nothing wrong and this person had come to me completely backwards, and then they feel like they don't have to apologize, and I'm just not gonna, I'm gonna stand my ground. And if I feel like I did nothing wrong, then I'm not apologizing for anything. And of course the whole respect your elders came into play, which I had already touched on. That's my biggest pet peeve, the whole respect your elders thing. I was like, I just can't do that. I had to remove myself from the situation. And if the consequence from this scenario is that I never am in contact with this person again, then that's just the way it has to be. Because I made a choice, and my choice was to not apologize, and my choice was to move on. And there are consequences for our actions, and that is the consequence that I am choosing, or that I chose. Unless things change later down the line, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but if I'm choosing to not associate with someone anymore because I feel like they had wronged me, then that's how it has to be. And I don't care if we have the same blood, if we have the same DNA. That part really does not matter to me. It doesn't. The whole saying blood is thicker than water. Okay. In some scenarios, that's not always true. That's not always true, you know? There are family members in my life that have done absolutely nothing for me, right? So why do they get... There are family members that don't even know how to spell my name. Can't even, like... I'm definitely... I might get a little bit in trouble for making this episode, but it's just, I'm speaking my truth. But anyway, man, the fact that the camera cut off really ruined my flow. But anyway, there are family members that don't even know how to spell my name, that probably don't even know what my middle name is, don't know what hospital I was born at, don't know my freaking favorite color, but somehow feel entitled to parts of my life. Somehow want to know what's going on this side. Want to know what's Mackenzie doing? You know, how is she doing? But it's like, did you care how I was doing 10 years ago? Did you care how I was doing 5 years ago? Did you care how I was doing 3 months ago? Just because we share the same last name. I'm not speaking about anybody specific, by the way. I'm just saying, if family's watching this, I'm not speaking about anyone specific. I'm just saying in general. Just because we share the same last name, just because we've lived in the same house, just because we see each other on Christmas, that doesn't mean anything. You can be my family member and still be a complete stranger to me. And you can turn into a stranger just as quickly. And that's how I freaking feel. We can't choose our families. We can make our family relationships better. We can make them easier. We can rebuild them. We can do all of that. But it's just like, who is willing to do it and who isn't? And those who are not willing to do it do not deserve to be a part of my life. Simple as that. And, you know, that's just the way it is. Loyalty to you because we happen to share the same last name. Okay. Yeah. Once again, I'm not talking about anyone specific. I'm just saying, like, sometimes the people that will hurt you most are the people that are related to you. And that sucks so bad because it's like, if anything, you're the person that I'm supposed to love the most. You're not the person that's supposed to hurt me the most. So, with that being said, yeah, we don't get to choose our families. It is what it is. There was another instance in my life where I didn't talk to a family member for like years. Didn't text me, hey, let me go take you out. Let me go take you shopping. Let me go be your family. Let's hang out. Tell me about what's going on in school. Tell me about the activities you're doing. Tell me about your friends. Tell me about who you're talking to. Tell me none of that. But then all of a sudden you want to pop up again and be like, hey, what's going on? No. It just doesn't sit right with me. It really doesn't. I'm my mother's daughter for real because she feels the same way. But it doesn't even have to be in the sense where, like, y'all don't get along politically, y'all don't get along spiritually. It can just be some people just don't have your best interest. And you are the holder of your own destiny. So it's up to you who you allow in your life and who you don't. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm perfect either. I'm not saying that I am the best niece. I'm not saying I'm the best daughter. I'm not saying I'm the best cousin. I'm not saying I'm the best aunt. I'm not saying any of that. You know, people could probably say the same thing for me, but it's just like, I can't be mad, because if that's how they feel about me, then they have every right to cut me out of their life. And that's the part that's so crazy. It's the part that's so crazy. Yeah. So don't let anyone make you feel bad for just doing what you feel like is right. And if that is to not see someone because you need to protect your mental health, then let it be. But definitely, it's just, with the old age and with the teenhood and the young adulthood and thinking that you're so grown and independent, you forget, who raised you and all that. And sometimes, you gotta be reminded of it. And this is me taking accountability. This is the portion of the podcast where I take accountability. Sometimes you get a little bit too out of line and you forget who raised you. And you forget the family that I've actually been there for you. When you spend too much time focusing on the things that aren't important, you forget about the things that are important, and the people who are important, and the people who do have your best interest. So yeah, that's how we're feeling today on a Monday, January 9th. Toxic families. Toxicity. Let's get into some media. Good segue, right? Let's get into some media. My top song for the past few weeks, the past couple of days actually, has been In a Good Way by Faye Webster. I'll probably play that song at the beginning or the end of this, but I love that song. It's great. My top artist, I think I talked about this last podcast, but Free Mind by Thames. That song is freaking amazing. It's been on repeat, to be honest. Love it. My top artist recently has probably still been Steve Lacy. He's probably still at the top. When I did that Spotify freaking recap, Steve Lacy was at the top. As he should be. We got him right here. We got him here. We got Rex down here. Listen. I don't know about Rex's allegations. I think he was proven innocent, to be honest. But yeah, I think he was proven not guilty. Therefore, that's why he's on my wall. If he was proven guilty, he would not be on my wall. And of course, we have Tyler. I just thought that was necessary to name off all those people if we're talking about media right now. And I'm not watching anything at the moment. And I should really get on that. But I do want to say, I think the Golden Globes are tomorrow. And if Evan Peters doesn't win a freaking Golden Globe for Dahmer, then I'm going to lose my mind. Because I watched that show and that show was amazing. But I didn't watch the last episode because I have this thing with shows where I will literally I'll watch the whole thing, but I just won't watch the last episode because I get bored. Not that it's boring, I just get bored. So anyway, that's everything that I have to say today. We're going to wrap. And it was a little short one today. I would definitely like to revisit this subject another time, because I'm sure later down the line, in the future, there's going to be more things to talk about. But I think this subject would be a lot easier to talk about if I had another person here co-signing me. But because I do this all by myself, it's a little bit hard to have, that back and forth, but that's okay. I like it this way. I like being a solo podcaster until otherwise. So thank you guys so much for watching What's Inside a Girl. We're going to wrap today, and I love having you here. I love having you listen, whoever is listening. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're listening and as long as you're learning, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to listen, we're here to learn, and we're here to communicate, and we're here to take accountability. Golden rule, communication, accountability. You know how the golden... Wait, no, stop. You know how the golden rule is treat others the way you would like to be treated? All right, well, that applies, okay? But for me personally, my golden rule is communication and accountability. So anyway, that being said, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to What's Inside a Girl. I hope you all have a fantastic morning, night, afternoon, whatever it is that you're watching this. And I will see you all next time. Bye. Bye.